Today is June 29th, 2021, and I'm Bonita Tyes with the Westchester Chronicle. Last night was the June 2021 Westchester Area School Board meeting. Most of the night's business was on the consent agenda, meaning most issues were already settled. Superintendent Dr. Jim Scanlan recognized Kevin Campbell, who served as the Director of Facilities and Operations at Warehouse for 18 years, who is now set to retire this year. At the end of the meeting, during other business, many members of the public came to the podium to discuss critical race theory. We asked School Board President Chris Mchugh if the practice was taught in the district. Here was his response.
No, we do not teach critical race theory in our schools. We do have equity components and culturally responsive teaching, but critical race theory is not a class offered in our schools. So equity is the pursuit of providing differentiated resources to achieve equal results. So we have students across a wide range of the spectrum, socioeconomic, special ed students, and they need more resources to achieve their personal best. So it's about providing differentiated resources to help them achieve their personal best.
Mr. Mchugh is currently running for re-election as a Republican, so in fairness, we gave one of his opponents from the Democratic Party, Carrie Stair, who attended last night's meeting, to respond.
It was wonderful seeing so many members of the community at Westchester Area School District School Board meeting last night. There are those out there that wish to spread misinformation about our school district, statements that are simply not true. Westchester Area School District is an award-winning school district that our community is extremely proud of. Our focus should be, and will continue to be, that our students receive the highest quality education, which is inclusive of all children. So please continue to come out to our school board meetings. It is the best way to make sure that the community shows that it cares about our children, our students, our teachers, and our staff.
At the end of the meeting, Superintendent Scanlan showed an example of institutionalized racism here in the district.
In 2010 or 2011 or 12, we were not able to move to a full-day kindergarten program, although we had a full-day kindergarten program. We have 5 sections, and in those 5 sections that was split between the 10 schools, we limited it to 75 kids. Most of the kids, and we were kids who had the most need. Most of the kids in those classes were low-income Black and Latino kids. And when we finally got to the point where we were going to go to full-day kindergarten, the teachers teaching the children in those classes, because we said we're going to collapse those classes, we're no longer going to separate our Black and Latino kids and these low-income families into this full-day program. They're going to be part of our play-based program. Our teachers were really worried that group of children were going to fall through the cracks because they cared so much about them. They were kind to them, they were nice to them, but what we found is that only 57% of those children could read at the end of the school year with a full-day program. And our teachers, when we had these conversations with our teachers, we said, you've got to raise the expectations, and having all of the children at the same level in one class, it won't do it. The teachers are very kind, the teachers cared, the teachers didn't want to hurt the kids' feelings, they didn't push them hard enough because they were afraid. That's institutionalized racism. And it wasn't until that time, 5 years into our work with Courageous Conversations, where we could have that conversation with our staff, with our teachers who care a lot about these kids. They're not racists. But that was a microaggression that was happening in our school system. Once we had that conversation and we moved those children into a full-day program the following year, we found that 87% of the kids could read at the end of their first year in kindergarten.
There were a couple members of the community who expressed concern about what was being taught in schools. This included Elian Oliver, who expressed his concerns at last night's meeting.
Equity, equality should be taught in schools. Equity is a can of worms that the definition shifts depending on who you're speaking with, what context. So no, it is not a principle under which we should establish our public education. Equality means giving everyone an opportunity to succeed, to take into consideration everyone's natural talents, and to give those students all the resources they need to advance. Not everyone begins at the same starting line. but we have an opportunity to raise all boats, right? A lifting tide raises all boats, and that's what equality does.
Much of the argument surrounding the curriculum seemed to concern the term equity. State Representative Diane Herron was in attendance last night wearing a button that said Equity Matters, so we asked her what the word means to her.
Equality is the idea that everyone gets the same resources, right? Equal resources. But equity also factors in the reality that some need more resources than others. So if we are truly to have an equitable society where we all have the same opportunity, student A might need more resources than student B, depending on many, many factors.
Again, School Board President Chris Mchugh.
Everyone is wrapped around the axle over the last year and a half of COVID, of social issues going on, and trying to distort it on a national agenda. Where myself and the board are focused, we're focused on this community and doing the right thing by all our constituents all the time. We're not going to get caught up in national agenda. We want to get focused on what's going to move the needle for the Westchester area community.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Please join us next time as we resume our local coverage and live streams of local government meetings. In the meantime, we will be covering events in town as they happen. Now, if you'd like to see us cover more meetings, events, or provide more information about things going on around town, please consider sponsoring our show via Patreon. Our goal is to make publicly funded news and not have to rely on ads, and we will produce as much as we can with the budget you give us. So please like and share us on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube. It's the easiest way to support us and help us bring you the news. Our program is produced by Crimson Planet Media and distributed by Keystone Digital.tv. Our music is by Doug Keller. Thank you for your time, and we hope to see you soon. Until then, I'm Bonita Tyes with the Westchester Chronicle.